So we are back for a second range test at a spot that I actually did a range test before. So this is kind of a cool little comparison. I sped this up so you don't have to sit and watch all 26 minutes of the video like the last one I posted. And man, this was like a crazy flight. There were so many mishaps and oh my God, so many things. It started off on the wrong foot because I parked off at this little turnoff, same turnoff that I used before. And this time I got hassled right from the beginning as I took off. Literally, a truck pulled up right in front of me, and the guy looked at me, and he was, I guess one of the managers of the agricultural area, the farm that I was flying over. And I told him, I said, move your truck, I'm flying. And so he did. So he moved out and drove out. But then at the end of the video, he comes back and he literally parks his truck right there, tapping his foot, waiting for me, I guess, to land or to, get the hell out of there. So you might not have noticed because I was kind of blabbing, but I didn't start this flight with 100% battery. I put it in, it was 96. I don't know why these batteries do this. I had this thing sitting on the charger at home, and sometimes I put the same battery in after taking it right off the charger, put it in, it's 100%. Sometimes it's not. So this time it started at 96. On this day, it was earlier in the morning and there were no winds. So I was feeling like it was going to be a good day for a flight. So here I am out at 2 miles, just kind of cruising along. But I kind of felt that the battery was discharging a little more quickly just by my kind of best guess as I was watching it. And I kept on going, thinking that this was going to be, hopefully a better flight than the one I had before, where I took it out just a bit over 22,000 feet and then got it back with about 10% to spare. So I was trying something different here. I had seen a video where the guy said, do not push the stick full speed forward. It's not efficient use of the battery. So he said you kind of leave it at about 3/4 throttle, and it's maximizes, I guess, the use of the battery. So I was doing this. So I was flying a little bit more slowly, not full throttle, not full stick forward. I felt like the return to home signal right there came a little soon. It was like 18,000 feet. I ignored that, of course, and wanted to push it, and I did. So I was cruising around hoping to get a new personal best. My previous personal best was 22,180 feet. And so I wanted to try to exceed that. I was trying to get out to 25, but as you'll see, that didn't work. So at 4 miles here, all was going well, and I'm coming upon the time here where I exceeded my personal best right here and had a little bit more percentage in the battery, so decided to push it. I was going to turn around at 50. So I got to this point right here, 51%. Thought I had plenty of juice to get back. Again, I was holding 3/4 throttle out and back. And the comparison before was 100% battery, and I went full stick forward, full stick back. So full stick forward, full stick back got me out 21,100 with 10% remaining when I landed, and you'll see what happened here. So I'm not really sure if it's correct to kind of keep the drone flying between 20 and 22 miles per hour. I almost feel like if I had gone full stick, it would have been a better result. But I was kind of testing that theory. That was the only sort of variable that I changed, other than the battery not being 100%. So it was earlier in the morning. I think it was like 8:30 in the morning, no winds, and again, I was kind of being harassed by this guy. So it was around this time that truck came back. And he didn't park right in front of me like before, which was like freaking obnoxious. He kind of parked behind me, and I can hear him talking on his walkie-talkie, probably saying, oh, this fucking guy's back here again. What do I do? Do I throw him out? And so I learned later after I landed, he asked me if I was like checking the lines, if I was like Southern California Edison, and I said no. So he said it's private property and you should get off, but I kind of dispute that because it's a turnoff from this main road, the 126, and there's no gate there. There's no sign that says no trespassing. There's a gate further on where there's like a water tower and there's a road that goes into the fields that is gated, obviously. So, I'm not going beyond that, but to pull off from the side of the road, in this area that's not gated and there's no sign there that says you can't be there. He said it was private property, so whatever. I would love to keep doing range tests here at the same site, but I'm not sure if I can anymore. So 2 miles to go with 23. I kind of estimate that I can get about 1 mile with each 10% of the battery, but at this point I was thinking like I'm going to be cutting this pretty close, and you'll see what happens at the end. The last 2 minutes it will be at regular speed, so you get to see the last 2 minutes of the flight where I frickin' white knuckled this thing. I apologize, the video at the end, for whatever reason the video cut off, so I didn't get the last 2 minutes from the recording from the drone, so I have to use the screen recording. The resolution kind of sucks, so just deal with it. So here I am coming up on a mile, and at this point 12%, and so now literally it started the forced landing, and I'd only done this once before with the forced landing where it just drops in altitude, and as you're moving the stick forward you also have to keep your left stick up to keep the elevation, to keep it from hitting the ground. So I'm trying to do this at the same time and keep it at 3/4 throttle. I was trying to be consistent with that, and you'll see in the indicator here I didn't really do it that well because I was starting to get really nervous, and then that fucking guy with the truck was parked right behind me, so I was worried about that and worried about my drone and looking at that countdown for the percentage of battery. I was looking particularly at the time remaining in the air, and I was kind of curious to know if I get to 0, like at what point does this thing just fall out of the sky? As I'd seen a video of a guy flying it where it did fall out of the sky. I don't know how long it will stay up in the air at 0%, and I didn't quite take it down that far, but this was crazy. I was super nervous. See, I'm going to 18 miles per hour. I'm trying to keep the stick at 3/4 forward and worry about the guy behind me. And I also had some telephone lines in front of me, and I didn't want to have to like get them tangled up in there, and so I'm looking at that 4%, 53 seconds, 950 feet to go. I was kind of scouting for a spot on the side of the road if I had to ditch it, but so it's coming down out of the sky. That critical warning thing beeps, and it's so annoying. It's like, we get it, we got to bring it down, we totally get it, but do you have to have that thing beeping the whole time? So I'm looking at 2% battery, 25 seconds of flight left, and I can see where I need to land. There's the truck, the white truck there, and he was just sitting in that truck talking on his walkie-talkie, and it was really annoying. Yep, he was sent to kick me out. It's ungated, man. I think they ought to put a gate there and put a sign. There's no sign there that says I can't park my car there. Those fuckers. So maybe I'll just have to park it by the side of the road, whatever. Got it back, and literally right when I touched down, 0% battery. This is the closest I've ever come, but I got a new personal record, so I'm stoked.